Hello, I'm Paige. I am a self-taught artist. I make videos on art business and growing as a creative. I try to post weekly at this point. Hopefully we can keep that upload schedule going. I post coloring videos, all sorts of art adjacent content. And on that vein today, I want to talk about pricing art. If you're going to be selling your art or monetizing your art, you're going to have to price it at some point. And it can be hard to gauge how exactly to go about pricing your art. I mean, it's if you don't know where to start, you don't know where to start. So I've done a lot of research into different pricing, and I'm gonna give you 3 methods, 2 of which I use personally. One of which can't really be applied to my art and what I use my art for. I'm going to tell you what they are, and each of these I will give an example of where they would best be used and suggestions on how they can be scaled as you grow and improve. So let's get into it. Method 1 is the hourly wage method, I like to call. It's where you time yourself making art and you apply an hourly wage. Usually when you're just starting out at commissions, most artists usually go around minimum wage for their area, and you work 5 hours, you multiply your wage by that 5 hours, and that's how much the price costs. This is excellent for digital art and commission work because that way you can scale it. If you get a more complex commission, that takes more detail. It'll naturally be priced higher than a simpler commission. And this is great for mediums where you aren't investing a lot of materials, or if you already have the materials on hand. The best example I can think of is digital commissions, where your really only upfront cost is, well, electricity to power your computer and a drawing tablet of some form. And those are your only upfront costs, so you can take that into consideration when pricing your art. But after a few commissions, you should be able to recoup the cost of, the drawing tablet and computer. And this method is really nicely scalable. If you start off cheap and slowly growing your following, slowly growing your demand for your commissions, if you're growing your commissions and you're getting more than you can handle, you can raise your prices. And raising your prices will mean you'll get less commissions, but you're getting a higher rate of pay. So you can maintain a steady workflow, and as you grow your social media following and your demand for your product grows, you can essentially make more money by just simply slowly scaling up your wage per hour of drawing. And always make sure you're paying yourself fairly with this method. It is very easy to undersell your work. I'm just gonna pay myself $2 an hour per commission, and it's gonna take me 2 hours, so that's $2, and pay yourself enough that is reasonable for your art. I know it's gonna be tough when you're just starting out to lowball yourself, but really look at what's competitive in the marketplace. Now, on to method 2, the square inch method. This method I use on a lot of my paintings that I sell in person at craft shows. So, yes, American, we use inches. You measure the length and the width of the painting, and this can be applied to centimeters for all foreign, non-American artists. So you measure the length and width, find the square inches of the canvas, and you apply a cost per square inch. And this method is great because if you do different painting styles, you can apply different costs depending on the amount of resources and effort that goes into the painting. If it's something like a lot of my nebulous cloud abstracts, I can paint them in 15 to 20 minutes, so I tend to price those lower. But my abstract patterns can take hours, so I price those higher. So you can, and as you grow and you're selling more and more paintings, you can, of course, up the price per square inch and, price your art higher as you grow notoriety. I think this method is best applied to physical paintings and original paintings more than prints or digital art. You can apply this method to those, but when you do, if you're selling pricing prints this way, or you're pricing commissions this way, keep in mind that you might have to go a little lower on your price per square inch, especially on prints where it's just a copy of the art. Which brings me into method number 3, which is the cost of goods / profit margin method, where you take your upfront cost, however much the materials to make the art costs, and you add a certain profit margin to it, either a dollar amount. Say I want to make a $15 profit margin or a 20% profit margin on this piece of work. So you calculate the price that way. This one is a bit tricky since if you're doing paintings, it's hard to quantify how many paintings you can get out of a bottle of paint. It's really hard to calculate. It's all estimates for that. You can say, oh, this canvas cost me $10 and the paint probably cost me a couple bucks, and then you estimate the price, which can be a bit nebulous, but it is definitely doable and a good method to make sure you're making a profit on your art if you are selling physical paintings. But where this method really shines through, and I use this in my Etsy shop for my digital prints, is selling prints or copies of your artwork. So this, you take how much it costs to make a print. If you're doing print on demand for your art, the platform will automatically calculate it for you. And how much it costs for a print. For me, digital prints cost $0. I make the art, scan it, sell as many digital copies as I can. So that method, I price mine a couple bucks depending on how complicated the painting is. If it's an ink drawing or a simple painting, I usually do $2.50. If it is a colored ink drawing, which takes significantly longer to do, I usually double that price, or I thought maybe it was $5. I'd have to check my pricing notes, but I apply this method in my Etsy shop, and I might start selling physical prints once I have a little more capital and feel it's time to invest in an HD scanner. So, when you're calculating the cost of a print, how much does the paper cost? How much does the ink cost? And you can even factor in, say, for the printer cost me $200, and you factor that into your cost. And then give yourself a little profit margin so you're earning money for your work. So this method is great for prints. And it will work with other mediums. It's a little harder to apply on a medium such as digital prints, where you're doing everything via computer because it is all digital. So keep that in mind. I mean, there's probably more ways to price art, but those are the main 3 I know of, and they're really nice because they can be scaled. Profit margin, if your cost of material stays the same, you raise your profit margin a little bit. Square inch, a little more per square inch. And then, of course, raise your hourly wage. And you don't have to stick with just one pricing method. I personally use the square inch method and the profit margin method since I'm doing different types of artwork and selling them in different contexts. So always keep in mind where and how you're selling your art, and if the art piece isn't already. Probably at this point, hearing some details about these methods, you probably already know your art and you probably have a good idea on what exactly, which method will work best for you, and you can try each one and see which one works. And it's better to do a methodical method of pricing your art than just going, I think it's worth $10, you know? So I hope this is a helpful, laid back video for you. I'm gonna be posting plenty of other content, so if you're interested in that, check it out. I'm trying to get fancier with my editing. I'm still a new channel, so I'm gonna try to put a little box in one of the corners to put another video. I'm gonna be posting a lot of content about art and maybe even YouTube. We'll see how things go. But until then, have a good one. Thank you for watching.